take advantage of this fantastic offer. So today, a group calling themselves Youth Young Ghanaians decided to picket near the Independence Square, demanding justice, transparency, and revocation of the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. They were holding several placards, some of which read, "Chief Justice suspension is political. Stop undermining the judiciary. Don't erode public trust. Save our justice system and restore the Chief Justice now." Now, this picketing is coming on the back of a demonstration that has already been held by the minority in Parliament and also some MPP members. They presented 3 petitions, one to the judiciary, one to Parliament, and the third one to the presidency. That's the Jubilee House. Again, yesterday, the Supreme Court, by unanimous 4-1 decision, majority I should say, 4-1 decision, dismissed 2 petitions that were trying to halt that process that has been triggered already by the president and also the committee sitting looking into that prima facie case against the Chief Justice. Then again, yesterday, just hours after that Supreme Court decision, the suspended Chief Justice herself filed another suit at court, the High Court. She wants the president to, as it were, dissolve that committee because she has issues with all the members on that committee. She has also sued the Attorney General as well, and then she wants an injunction on that committee hearing. Okay, now before the petition and before today's demonstration, you recall that an individual, a member of the NPP, popularly referred to as Adenta Kumi, petitioned President Mahama to dissolve the committee because he says that there are some underhand dealings amongst the committee members, and then one of the persons representing one of the petitioners. Now, he says there's a purported meeting between one of the lawyers for the accused and 2 other judges who are probing the case. So that petition he sent to the president was on May 19, that's Monday, and the citizen Alfred Abebio Kumi, referred to as Adenta Kumi. So he says, and I'm quoting, that reason for his petition is that 2 members of the committee, Justice Gabriel Scott Poaman, chairman of the committee, Justice Samuel Adibwe Siedu, a member of the committee, in the company of another Supreme Court judge, Justice Yoni Kolendi, were spotted having dinner with Mr. Tadosori, a lawyer who is representing one of the petitioners. Now, he says that between the hours of Thursday, May 15, 7:30 and 8:30 p.m., Justice Gabriel Poaman and Samuel Kwame Adibwe Siedu, together with Justice Yoni Kolendi of the Supreme Court of Ghana, were seen having dinner with the counsel for one of the petitioners before the committee, Mr. Tadosori, at the Santoku restaurant located in Villaggio Airport residential area, Accra. He goes on to say in his petition that the strange meeting of the 4 persons who are keenly interested in and have played and indeed continue to play critical roles initiated in the processes for the removal of the Chief Justice excited the curiosity of some persons in the restaurant. Indeed, they were overheard discussing matters relating to the petition. Respectfully, the record of the 4 justices, Poaman, Kulendi, Siedu, and lawyer Tadosori's presence at the restaurant and meeting can easily be verified and confirmed. Now, it's also part of the petition. He goes on to say in the petition that the above development is of grave worry as proceedings of the removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana are solemn process and should not lend itself to manipulation by any person or authority. The meeting between Justices Poaman, Kulendi, and Esiedu with Tadosori clearly has destroyed the integrity of the process and reduced public confidence in the process so far. Both Justices Esiedu and Poaman are panel members set up to inquire into the petition. They have no business meeting with counsel for one of the petitioners outside working hours at an unofficial place, a restaurant, to have a discussion. This is more serious when the record shows that Justice Poaman gave judgments in favor of the same petitioner, Daniel Ofori, represented by the same counsel, thought-provoking, in the Supreme Court. Their conduct is deplorable and the most unbecoming of justices occupying the highest court in Ghana. It has a tendency to show that the whole process, quite unfortunately, is a sham. In the interest of preserving the integrity of the process, I hereby petition you for an immediate dissolution of the committee, as its ability to dispense justice is clearly compromised. So that is excerpt of that petition by Adenta Kumi to President Mahama for the committee to be dissolved. When that petition got out, you had lawyer thought-provoking take to his social media to respond, and he was very, very categorical. Per what I just read to you, he said, Adenta Kumi said, or the petitioner said, that those claims could easily be verified because, I mean, it's a public place and they are meeting, and so it can easily be verified. So thought-provoking also went on to comment, and he said that that is not true, and he also asserted the fact that those claims can easily be verified. So we have had something that can be verified. Head of our legal desk, Dr. Desmond Kofi Annan, has joined me in studio. Doc,
Val,
what have you found so far?
All right, so good evening to your listeners and viewers on Facebook. I would want to say that first of all, we have to establish where the petitioner is coming from,
okay,
by way of saying that he, as a citizen, and is clothed with the right, so to speak, to appeal or petition the head of state if there's something that he does not understand or has a problem with, and so it is in his right to do so, and he has exercised that right. But then, having looked at the document, his petition, which he sent to the presidency on the 19th of May, we have a copy with us. We've gone through and looking at the sequence of events thereafter, we cannot verify the video, the said video which is in circulation, and I'm sure that your viewers have seen the video.
Those who are listening on radio, you can go on Facebook.
Exactly.
Class 91.3.
Exactly.
The video is there.
Yes. So, like I'm saying, we from the legal desk cannot independently verify the personalities in there, but suffice to say that some people have also, some legal luminaries who have also shown interest in the matter, have identified some personalities in there purported to be the lawyer Adenta Kumi, the petitioner referred to, that is the thought-provoking, and then Justice Yoni Kolendi, Justice Adibu Asiedu, and the rest. In fact, he made mention of Justice Poaman, but as we hear before coming on air, is becoming evident that Justice Poaman was not in that video. Yes, and so that is another matter for another day. I don't know how the petitioner was able to identify Justice Poaman in the said video, but then some individuals that we've spoken to who know Justice Poaman personally have said that the man is not in. They have also seen the video, but the man is not in there. So we are not surprised. Once again, we hear that there's been some picketing and all that, all coming from the back of this petition, just so that Mr. President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, can consider and rescind his decision. Don't forget that the Chief Justice yesterday also filed at the High Court seeking 16 reliefs that, among other things, were the fact that she's seeking that the committee be dissolved, and then the 5-member committee itself, she has issues with the judges, the 2 judges, and she makes a claim that the 2, Justice Poaman has some connections and interests with one of the petitioners, which is Daniel Ofori. And then Justice Adibu was also slated to sit on the matter in the seeking the matter filed by the Honorable, what's his name? Asifwa, which was
dismissed by the court.
Yes, so she's not comfortable with that, and then she's also she has issues with the three civilians, so to speak, and she is coming forcefully under the Oath Act of 1972, and also makes claims and makes references to the Article 1461 clause 1 to 4 that the president should consider, and then Article 23, and then Article 296 and all that. And so what we can say is that interesting days ahead of us. We'll see how this is going to play out in the court. What we suspect from our legal desk, what we suspect is that this is going to go a bit further. I mean, they're going to buy time to do a lot of these things, because don't forget, this is also an interlocutory injunction, and there will be times, we suspect that there will be times that the High Court would want to go to the Supreme Court for interpretation, for guidance, because a lot of the relief she's seeking for, the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice is seeking for, would have to go through a certain constitutional interpretation before the High Court can, adjudicate.
But she's also looking for a live broadcast or telecast.
Yes,
of this
exactly,
event.
as part of her relief.
But that is not enshrined in law. The law says that it should be in camera.
Exactly, and that is what a lot of the legal guys in the space are. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody is saying what pleases him or her. Speaking to some colleague in the legal space, some say if it is her right and she says that she doesn't need it, she's waiving it, why can't we grant it for her? But others are also making a case that the law is the law. The Chief Justice has always said this thing, that the law is the law, and so if the law is the law and it is enshrined black and white, that and it is for a reason, the framers of the Constitution. That's what the argument some other legal lawyers make, that it is for a reason. That clause itself is put in the Constitution, that the stature of the Chief Justice, as we know, is not just a mere position. So to speak, and so you cannot just put the Chief Justice on the spot just like that, openly, for everybody to know what exactly is happening. And so these are some of the things that we're looking forward to, and we hope that in the coming days, the High Court, like I said, we suspect that this matter will go to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Some aspect of the reliefs, that constitutional provisions that she's seeking to release for, would have to go to the Supreme Court for interpretation.
Doc, now the petition from Adenta Kumi had a lot of issues. So I told you about that. Sorry, coming on Facebook to respond to that. He said that it's, and I'm quoting, "is a monstrous lie. No such meeting took place. It's very easy to fact check that. We know those who get justice through negotiation." So if the justice is not Puaman, who are they saying he is? The other person who went into that restaurant with Justice Yoni Kolendi?
Well, we will not be able to verify, Val, because just as the former vice president said some time ago, you and I were not there. You understand?
But and the video is out. So
yes, the video is out. We've all seen the video, and the fact that and the video itself is a bit problematic. That's why we are saying that from our decks, we cannot independently verify, but at least we saw handshakes and hugs here and there. But it is not to suggest a meeting. It doesn't suggest a meeting that they went to sit down and discuss issues. Exactly. It doesn't really. It suggested somebody meeting a friend and handshaking and maybe a long while, and decided to hug each other, and then after the handshake they both separated to their various seats to have their meal. And so it's a bit problematic to say that it was a meeting. Indeed, like I said, the Justice Puaman angle is a bit problematic for us, because we cannot also verify, and we cannot also say those who are making the claim that Justice Palmer was not part or was not in at that venue or that location at the time that the petitioner Alfred Kumi Abebiu or Alfred Abebiu Kumi is saying, I mean, it's a bit problematic for us to also verify that kind of scenario. We cannot see. We cannot vouch and say that Justice Palmer was part of the meeting or whatever video that is circulating in the public space.
There's a question somebody has sent that we can ask. He says, when a lawyer goes to a restaurant for lunch or even dinner and coincidentally meets a judge and exchange pleasantries with him, is it called a meeting?
That's the point. So like I said, I'm sure your viewers have seen the videos, and now it's all over the place. I'm sure it's also on our Facebook wall that viewers can watch for themselves. We have to make the point that from where we sit, we have also watched the video. We don't think that it was a meeting. It was just like I've seen Val at an eatery and I exchange pleasantries with you, give you a hug, and I go and sit at my place and have my meal. I mean, that's what we have seen in the video. So for somebody to suggest
they have
something
a contrary
else,
video,
exactly,
or they have a longer version of the conversation, or what shows that they were really in a meeting and they discussed
exactly the point. And so we cannot by any shred of whatever say that, I mean, there was a meeting properly so called. We do not see that from the videos we've watched so far.